さてと。お、いっぱいある。
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely
点検
maintenance
的
work.
な整理じゃないですか。
You're not sure.
確かではないのですね。
You're the deputy
しかしあなたは副園長で
Well,
す
I
よ
am
ね。
busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes,
よ
it
かった
could
と
have
は
been
言えま
better.
せん。
You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression. Great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
ライフスタイル。嫌ってるな。
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say?
ロンドンスマートセ
He
ッ
was a
ト。
member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And
he had an eye for the ladies.
女性には目がありませんでしたよ。
Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
ア
What
ル
do
バー
you
トが持っ
mean?
てんだ。
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before. And now all of a sudden he is trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so,
全く役に
and
立たな
I
い
can。only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
親子関係もあんま良くなかった。
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed.
ホワイト
She
さん会い
possesses
てえ
a
な。
great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
ナイ
The
ーブ。
way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And why, he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
おホワイトさんのことを好きだったんか。
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Are you
Cool,
aware
aye.
of the Divine Syndicate?
The divine what? Is this a joke?
No,
Joke?
I am quite serious.
シリアス。
Ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
いたアルバート。
Who is Miss Margaret White?
マーガレット・ホワイト。
She is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah. At the moment, I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
何も知らない。
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path. I have to
父の
manage
後を
Kew
継ぐべきな
Gardens.
のです。
And I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
これは、まさか組合の影響か、これ。
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact,
任期
Mr.
最
Hamish
長
only has
従
the
業員
honor
と
of
いう
being
名
the
誉だけで
Gardens'
す。
longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
植物園に情熱はないけど、でも欲しいんだ。
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
本当かな。
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom.
更衣室
The
はダメ。
employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
そこはじゃあ何とかして入るのかな。盗みと殺人。よっしゃあ。全部調べてやるぜ。なんかある。シャンペーン。シャンペンスーパーノーバー。
French wine, a remarkable vintage. Champagne. Montague
Champagne.
Dunn had good taste.
モンテギュー・ダンは趣味がいい。
Newspapers
新聞だ。
discussing Kew Gardens.
シベリア大麦。手紙。親愛なるマーガレット。君は一人で十分世の中に立ち向かうことができるだろう。君に自由を返そう。おや？縁切ってるな。
A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
レナルド。園長の金、うわっ。ちょっと待って。これどうやって開けりゃいいの？ああ、なるほど。こう。ああ、違う。1、2。むずいな、これ。こう。3つずついくってこと？なんだこの開けづらい金庫は。1、2、3、4ってことじゃあ。 法則性が分かれば。もう一個行かなきゃダメ。ちょっと待ってね。1、2、1、2、3、4、あ、違かった。1、2、1、2、3、1、2、3、1、2、3、4、5。ここまで行っちゃっていいってことかい。オッケー。なんかできました。適当にやってたら。手紙いっぱいあるな。親愛なる友へ。出た、神聖なる組合。神聖なる組合にはそのような貴重な植物を保持する権利はない。1889年。これ後で調べるんだろうな。苦情の手紙。愛する姉妹たちを返却。植物たちのことか。出た。神聖なる組合。まだある。
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
モンタギュ男子への借り。家賃。大学の支援。口座開設。その他いろいろ。いろいろ援助してもらってた。よし。OK。ちょっともう情報が多い。そして、うわ、出た。これ、
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here. Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals.
あれ、なんか下にも調べられるもんなかった？あ、ないか。ちょっと待ってくれよ。大学の教科書。
A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert.
化学薬品。化学薬品も危ねえか
A
な。
sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
蓄音機。
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory.
え何？
I don't hear anything.
邪魔しちゃった。これをどう、
Martin Hamish's perception of the plant. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal.
攻撃を受けると化学信号を発する。
Plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
なるほど。こっちは
As it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants to respond to their environment
study report.
あるものが必要。まだ聞けるものがどっかにあんだ。
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
ちょっと待って。実験台。
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory. Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around.
Gold dust.
金粉。
Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. But we need a good nose.
トビーだな。よし。そしてこっちは
Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
ここ更衣室か。出た。久々なんだけど、何あのマーク。どういうこと？これだな。ああ、これこういうことなんだ。動くんだこれ。マジか。これだ。できた。
Open.
全部そういう仕掛けなの。ちょっと待って。
The employee's cloakroom.
よし。ここは大
Miss
事だ。
White's locker.
まだ会ってないのにロッカーを見るっていうね、先に。
A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
援助お願いしたくて。うん。
Apparently, Miss White is a capable student.
うん。宝石箱。
These jewels must be worth a small fortune. A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
うん。なるほどね。出て行って。上流階級の。
Martin Hamish's locker. A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
Hmm? なるほど。確かに。
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting.
科学を学んでる。
Father and I. Kew Gardens.
あ、やっぱ終わったらこれ勝手にこうなるよね。じゃあこれ終わってないんかな。
Miss White's locker.
あ、これか。 見づらい。うん。君の献身的な。あれ、アルバートが援助してる。どういうことだ。ちょっと家族からは援助受けられなかったんで、ホワイトは。何がどうなってんだ。
Albert's locker.
アルバート怪しいよ。R1 使えるし。
Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea.
造船業と海に。もう全然関係ないじゃん。
A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
はい、入れなかった。海軍。これだろう、絶対。
Young Albert, standing with a woman in front of London University.
広いね。いろいろ。
These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery. 作業机。 A thesis written by Martin Hamish. A glasses case. It is empty.
メガネ入れ。
This area serves as Martin Hamish's office.
事務室。
This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was
給食
directing,
別園と
but
何
it
の
had
関係もな
nothing
い。
to do with Kew Gardens. This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition.
窓。
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
卒業証書。
An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish.
で、なんだ。あら。これ壊れてない？
It is a bust of Montague Dunn.
どっか欠けてんじゃないこれ。これだ。
I am curious if the marble that we found will fit this place. Here it is.
これだ。
The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial Collection Room is what they have in common.
完全に一致する。OK。
The seeds of plant species are stored here.
開ける。
Open.
いた。ちょっと待ってね。先にいろいろ見ますけど。向こうからしたら気になってしょうがないだろうけど。マーガレット・ホワイト。
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room.
なるほど。あ、換気。
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
めっちゃ勝手に
A
見る。
book about ships. Nothing at all to do with
アルバート
plants.
か。
These leather gloves are new and of good quality. They do not appear to have been used. Materials for college study. They belong to Albert. This place serves as Albert's office.
なるほど。
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful
と
plants
ても
here.
美しい植物があり
Why,
ますね
thank。you, sir. And good day to you too. But
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is
あの
Margaret
有名な
White.
探偵の
Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a
Yes
pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh, yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
入ったことない。
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional
異常な
nature.
性質。
Oh, yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic. And very
息子には
nice to
厳し
me.
く。
Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
プリティネーム。
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
よし、見てみよう。高価な香水。てか、やっぱり。貧しい家。未婚。
Thank you, miss. None of the three people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying.
誰かが
It is
嘘をついてい
obvious.
る。もうないよね。
Poor Mr. Montague Dunn. It is so awful.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
写真でいいのかな。
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right
あな
to.
たにはそん
Do
な権
tell
利は。
us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father. So it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
なるほど。だからこの人も一応
There is a bust of
こだわってん
Montague
だ。
Dunn in the nursery.
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
But why in that room in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
まあこれだよな。
It is strange, because I recovered a fragment of the bust inside the Colonial Collection Room.
Really? Oh, well, so I am mistaken. It ought to have been removed during the cleanup. This room is so small.
Do you know who moved it?
I have no idea. Surely Mr. Dunn requested it. Do you have any more questions like this? Because fragments of rock are not my responsibility.
Evidently. Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
意見の相違。ホワイトの状況。ヘイミッシュの動機。
I perceive that you are
あなた
passionate
は海
about the
軍に情
Royal
熱を持っ
Navy.
ているようですね。
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure?
そうでしょ
You
う
do
か。
not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
いや別に興味持っていいけど。希望か。
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
アルバートの動機ね。1889年。神聖なる組合。これか。不正取引。
Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out what they have against Montague Dunn.
あ、神聖なる組合行けるんだ。